What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers, and we are back on our Corvette build, which I still have yet to name, by the way. I really need to do that. I really need to figure out what to name this thing. So, in the last episode, we did a couple of quick fixes that ended up working out fairly well. So we got the thrust figured out to where we can actually lift off from the planet. So that's cool. And we also figured out how to keep the shields from activating from adding the safety lock to the reactor rotors. So that's all well and good. But we still did not fix the landing process, which seems to keep clipping through the ground. Now, I mentioned this in the last episode. My one suspicion that I don't know about is whether or not this is a mod problem or whether this is a overall landing problem of the ship design. So basically what I did, as you can kind of tell, I swapped out the mag locks for standard landing gears to see if it kind of does the same thing. So we're going to test that out. Now, I was told in the comments that about I think they said anything above 5 meters per second, if I read that right, is considered a fast landing, and 10 is like crash. So it's possible I was going too fast and the landing gears clipped through. My only problem with that is that the landing gears were set to auto-lock, and when I turned them off, when I unlocked them, it like instantly clipped through the ground and blew up. So first thing, I want to group these so that I can basically mess with them without having to go into the menu all the time. So we're going to do auto lock on off, switch lock, unlock, I guess. Why not just add a lock? That's kind of redundant, but who cares? Alright, so let's get down to the ground. Probably need to level off. Alright. Like I said, I don't know. I may have been going too fast, because I'm realizing just how fast the whole these thrusters get to 5 meters per second pretty quick. Alright, so at this point we're auto-locked. Right? So if I unlock it... See, it's pulling it through the ground, which is very odd. Very, very odd. I don't know what that's doing. Like, I don't know if that's an auto-lock glitch or not. That's the thing that I'm trying to basically figure out, because now it's doing it with standard landing gears. This is both good and bad, because it means it's not the mag lock, so we can keep those. We can use them. However, we're running into the problem of how do you land. And like I said, there's a few issues that I'm having. Some people have mentioned it might be the design. It very well could be, but I don't think it is. And the reason I don't think it is because the auto lock works. It stops the ship. Like, it's not one of those where you're going too fast and there's too much mass and it can't stop the ship. It's like, it's stopping, it's locking. But as soon as you unlock it, it just seems like it gets pulled through the ground. And I don't think that's intended behavior. Now, that could be from weight. I honestly have no idea. So we're going to try a couple of things, and hopefully it won't take too long to, like, reload the ship a bunch of times, but it probably will. Alright, so at this point, I set up, reloaded it, and I switched everything back to the mag lock, since we kind of seem to have confirmed that it's not the actual maglock mod. That's what I was concerned about. I was afraid that it was something in the mod hadn't been updated, or something to that effect, and it was causing it to freak out. But I don't really think that's the problem, since we were getting the same thing with the vanilla mods, or the vanilla landing gears. Let's see, I'm trying to kind of keep everything level. But what I did here, and I did also go back and look at the comment, and it said 10 10 is a rough landing, 5 or less is considered good, and anything above 10 is a crash landing. So I got it a little wrong before. But what I did was I took off the auto lock, and we're gonna see. Right now, it says we have 4 landing gears locked, but we have a total of 9, so there's 5, so it's the... Alright, so, where is the... I don't see the thing about in range. I guess we're just gonna have to eyeball it, because usually where it says they're locked, it's actually supposed to tell you how many is in proximity, but at the same time... Now, here's the interesting part. Here's the interesting thing. Even if I don't lock it, in theory, if you're on level ground, if I understand the mechanics correctly, and like I said, I've voiced this a few times, I haven't played on planets in a long time, actually at all, so I could have this information very wrong. But from my understanding, even if you don't lock the landing gears, it should at least hold the ship, kind of thing. That's what at least I've been kind of under the impression of. So, I'm not going to lock these, but it kind of should still not crash as long as I don't go over a certain speed. But like we saw before, these actually seem to clip through... I hope that didn't mess anything up. I accidentally held the Alt key and hit the tab to turn the HUD on. Actually, these tend to clip through the ground, so I don't know... See, like that. They just went right through the ground on that side over there. Now, my concern is if I fly up... Oh, it doesn't actually do it. Okay, I was gonna say I was afraid it was gonna hold them in the ground, and then it wouldn't let me do what I needed to do. But it didn't do that. So it's weird. It's almost like these aren't even stopping them. All right. Well, with that in mind, we're gonna run a little bit of a different experiment here. Where's my spectator? And there I am. So the experiment we're gonna run here is I'm actually going to... Ooh, now I'm moving too fast. All right. So what I'm gonna do... Where did I put the landing gears? There they are. Is I'm actually going to run some parallel stuff here. Actually... Whoops. Not what I meant to do. Alright, so actually what I'm going to do is turn on the mirror mode. And we're going to drop about 4 blocks down on both sides and 1 in the middle. Let me do this first. And what I'm going to do is plant the landing gears, because these are actually going to be further down than the maglocks. And so what I'm effectively trying to do is, again, test to see if you have landing gears behaving the same way without the auto lock. So we saw that before... hold on. Thinking and doing it, or talking and doing it at the same time is difficult. So what we saw before, I'll turn the auto locks off, is that these are behaving the same way with auto lock on, that they're grabbing the ground and then clipping through. However, the maglocks aren't seeming to stop the terrain at all. They're just going right through the ground. So this needs to be figured out, whether it's a landing gear issue or if that's isolated to the mod. So in theory, these should grab the ground even though they're not locked. And they're clipping right through as well. Okay, so that's the issue right there. There is something that either due to the weight of this build or whatever, or just a bug in the game, but there's some, which, you know, doesn't surprise me, it's still, you know, beta and all that. it seems like it's allowing landing gears to pass through, and I don't know what that is because I've done things in the Inspiration series that didn't do that, but we're using default landing gears here, and it's still clipping right through the ground. So I don't really know what to make of that, because when there's things in the Inspiration series that other people have built and they can land on planets just fine, it leaves me to wonder what's different, basically. Because now I'm not going real fast like I was before. I'm keeping it under 5, because that's what I was told. But it's not really stopping anything, they're just going through the ground. And that's very odd, because it seems like it's... Okay, now at what point does this actually hit the ground? Okay, something's stopping it now. Something in the front is stopping it. And it's not the landing gear. But look at that, they just passed right through the ground. That's weird. Alright, let's try this again, because I just had something hold the nose up. So what is it that's grabbing the ground, finally? The front landing, the front maglock. Okay. So the front maglock is working. The rest of it isn't. Well, that's weird. And in case you were wondering if that's accurate or not, I can do... Where did I go? I didn't go that far. Alright, here we go. Alright, we'll do it from this angle. A little bit closer to confirm the theory, but I'm pretty sure that's what's grabbing the ground. So from this point, we're going to level it off. And the landing gear actually passes through. That's weird. I don't get it. And then the maglock is actually stopping the front, but not the back. I don't get that at all. Now, there's only one thing that I'm wondering about at this point, and that's how is this set up any different than what the other landing gears are set up as? And that's something I don't really know, because they all look like they're attached perfectly fine. So, yeah, I don't understand that one, because it's like one maglock is working and one is not. And yet, they're all attached to the ship the same way. It's not like one's floating or something. Now that is interesting. Hold on. Hold on. That's... Now this is an interesting situation here. I just remember we had this covered in Blast Block, but if you go up, the conveyors that are holding... Wait a minute, that's not even the maglock. You dummy. Okay, never mind. That just went out the window. I was going to say it's connected to the conveyor system, but it's not. This is just attached to the blocks. So what is it about this one maglock that makes it not pass through the ground when these are passing through the ground? That's very strange. I legitimately don't know what to make of this, because it would have been one thing for all of the mags to be one way and all the landing gears to be another, but this is straight up like one block is doing something different than the rest. And that is very, 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 very strange. And I don't know... I'm literally at a loss. I don't know what to make of that, because in theory, anything one does, the other should be doing. So... I really don't get it. That doesn't make any sense. Is there anything different about these? Alright, let's turn on the HUD. Let's see here. Unlocked, unlocked, unlocked. None of this data is any different. Is there anything in custom? Let's see which one this is. You are number 6. Lucky number 6. Alright. Nothing in the custom data. Show and terminal. They're all on. That's something I hadn't even actually thought to check, but they're all on. Man, I don't know what to make of that. Why would the one block be doing something different than the others. Like I said, it would make more sense to me if it was a situation of, you know, the landing gears, the vanilla landing gears behave one way, and then the maglocks behave another. But this is literally like all of the landing gears are behaving one way, and then 4 out of 5 of the maglocks are behaving another way. And I don't even know what to make of that. Alright, there's one last thing I want to try on the landing gear front. Alrighty, so at this point, I went ahead and took the risk of putting the pistons back in, and for the moment they actually seem, knock on wood, I think they're doing okay. They don't look like they're freaking out like they were before. Maybe they fixed that. Either that or I'm just not seeing it. Either case is possible. But they're retracting okay, from what I can tell. So I think everything's working properly. So I want to run 2 tests here. Basically, the pistons have a bit more give, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to try and see, A, we replaced all of the maglocks, so let's see if they do anything differently. The auto lock is off, but B, and in my opinion more importantly, we'll see how they behave. Alright, so we're kind of bouncing. That's good. Nothing's clipping through the ground. Good. Good. Alright, so from this point, we... Oh, it just says ready. I never even realized this. These say ready now, down at the bottom. Alright, so... Lock. Okay, no wiggle, no movement. Good. Unlock. Oh, wait. Helps if you hit the right button. Unlock. No clipping. Retraction. No explodey. Good. Alright. So, oddly enough, these work better on pistons than they do when they're just part of the ship. That's weird. Okay. We're getting a little bounce, but that's okay. Now, one thing... I don't want to try it just yet, but one thing I want to try is the auto lock and see if it works. Now, one thing I'm going to do also is retract them, and I want to see how the ship behaves, and this might be a bad idea, but I don't care. I want to see how it behaves if I get a little too close, i.e. we hadn't extended it, and then you try and extend them. So let's see what the pistons do. They're either going to push us up, or buckle, or blow up, or something. Okay, great. It pushes us up. Awesome. Bouncy, 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 bouncy. Fun, 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 fun. Okay. Oop! That's the unlock button. Know your buttons, Sparrow. Alright. No movement. Unlock. Fly away. Alright. So the pistons actually make it work better. Weird. Now, let's get a little bit of altitude, because auto lock seems to trip pretty fast. And we'll turn auto lock on. And it grabbed us there. We turn it off. Well, let's leave it on, actually. Unlock. Okay, so you have to turn it off and then unlock. And now it works fine. Awesome. Well, that's cool. So at some point that got fixed. And we now have our landing gear in place. Sweet. I will have to go through at some point and probably redo the textures for that. Not redo, but that trick where you can replace where they're located and get them to move. Alright, so basically, the way to fix the landing gears is go back to the original design. Lovely. Great. Good job, guys. Alright, and we fixed the rocket launchers by switching them all to the 200mm, I believe. So that's good. Still have not fixed the Mac cannon, though. I'm really not sure if that's going to be an option or not. I don't know how to deal with that. Mainly, again, because of space constraints, that I don't have a whole lot of room to put a bunch of other stuff and I don't know if I can connect all this up or not. Now, and once again, the one thing we could try, let me save it and tweak some stuff around, and we're going to try and work on the Mac can a little bit. Alright, so I have all but given up on this Mac Cannon idea. Mainly because I've tried every possible thing I can think of, and nothing will work. And in case anyone isn't really sure, I can confirm that it doesn't load through the large conveyor ports, so using something with a big conveyor port won't matter. For example, this is what I ended up doing. I grabbed a large cargo container, which has the large ports on the side. Right? Right. Good. Now, there is one thing I haven't tried, even though I've tried all kinds of stuff, but I don't think it will work. And that is to have a converter go from the large to the small. It seems redundant and stupid, so I didn't try it, but I'm willing to try at this point. So, we're going to throw one round in there, and you can see that it doesn't allow me to transfer it to the weapon. Now, some of you may be going, well, that's because you bottlenecked it back down to a small one. Okay, so here's the thing. We have the large one right here, right? Right. Slap that on, okay? And now we'll grab one of these, we'll drop it in there. Grab this again. Nothing. It won't transfer. So I don't know how they expected you to pipe things. I don't know how they expected you to make any of this work when it won't use conveyors of any kind. You can't use a large one and the small one's too small. So it doesn't add up to me. Like, even the ports are small. They even made it set up like it's got a small port there. And you know what? Before we give up on this entirely, let me try one last thing as kind of a last-ditch effort. And that is placing a conveyor system all the way around it. And let's grab a... Oh, I keep saying storage, it's container. Let's grab, let's just grab a medium. That should be accessible for us enough. Alright, so let's go ahead and go 1, come on, 2, 3, 4, wait, why am I moving? Stop it. Alright, so from this point, there is a connection, or a conveyor on every single port, right? So if I'm just using the wrong port or something, we will know. And then, let's see, does this have a small port? I don't think it does. Well, that won't work. Cargo. I guess we'll just grab a small one then. There we go. Alright, inventory. 1. And Mac. And nothing. So it cannot use the small ports. It just won't do it. And by all accounts, it won't use the large ports either, because it won't connect to it. So, basically, what I'm left with is a giant paperweight. No, what I'm thinking is there is only really one way this will work. I'm floating at this point. Where are we at? Okay, we're still up above the air. Up above the air. Yep, we're up above the air. The only plausible option at this point, really, and it's not really even that plausible to be quite honest, is to run like... Is this a conveyor or a... Oh, that was weird. The hologram looked different than the actual block. Funky. Alright, so our only real option at this point is to put a second assembler here, and just for kicks and giggles, as an explanation of how I would want to have it set up, I'll go ahead and put the upgrade modules on it. And I'm going to stand in the way, so I can't do it. I get... we're gonna have to use it this way. No! Wrong F button. Screw it. I don't even care. So anyways, you get the idea. You'd have something like this. There'd be one on the bottom, but I'm probably not going to do this anyway, so I don't really care about it being thorough. You'd have all of the materials piped in, but quite frankly, I don't even know... Yeah, okay. So I can grab it manually out of that port. It's just so weird. Because before anybody freaks out, I have done this already. I've tried to put an assembler right on the back, and you can throw it in from the conveyor. You can do that, right? But then from here to here, it won't transfer. So, yeah. Since this makes none. So the person can grab it, and the person can load it, but there's no automated way to do it, it seems. So you would have it set up like this. You'd have to have some access point, and that's where I said it's unplausible, and I probably won't end up doing it, is because I have no room, other than from the bottom or something, to put some kind of access hatch. Now, I could put one on the bottom. I honestly could. We could have this kind of set up, and I could put a door here, or it would just be a hatch, but I mean, I could do that. And then you'd seal off the rest of this so it's pressurized and blah, 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 blah. Right? Fine. But basically, you would have the assembler here. All the ingredients for making the Mac cannon rounds would go into this assembler. It would make the rounds. You would go in, grab them from here, put them in your inventory, turn around, walk up to this thing, and grab its finicky hitbox, and then load them in like this. That is the only way I can see this working. So basically, it's, do I want to add another access hatch somewhere over here, or maybe here even, you know, because this is inconvenient, to be honest. This is annoying, so I don't think I want to put it in there. Actually, does the conveyor system run through the ceiling? It does. In that case, it stops... Does it stop there? At that vent? It did, because I didn't want it to go through... Okay, I see what I did. I didn't want to expose it anywhere, and that would show. Okay. Well, I can work with that, or not. It just depends, because I was thinking what I could actually do is run it through there, basically. I think I actually had it doing that at one point, and then come down and I could put the assembler up there to maximize floor space, so I could basically just put a 3x3 hatch here, or a 5x5, or do I have 5x5 here to work with? I do. Wow, that's perfect. So if I wanted to keep this, that's basically what would happen. It would turn into something like... Now, I could do a no panel hatch, or something really super flush kind of thing, but you know. I do want it accessible from outside. And that connects really close. Man, I don't like this at all. Oh, wait, no, I don't want it that way. I want it this way. So, theoretically, this wouldn't be here. I would find a different... either a different spot to locate it, or a different method, like bring it out and around and go up, and something confusing and stupid, because this whole process is really dumb at this point to get this to work. And then, you know, you'd fall and die, because that's what About did. So you would have, like, this access hatch point here, and that would literally be, like, at your base before you lift off, before you fly away, something like that, to load up the Mac cannon. I don't like it. I don't like that at all, to be quite honest, but it is quite literally the only way that I can see to make that cannon work. Like, function, and actually have it accessible and loadable and all that kind of stuff, and not just a big paperweight. Because of how dumb the design is of it not using the conveyor system, it seems at all. And I thought the description of the mod actually said it used it, but I can't make it work. It just will not work, no matter what I plug into it. So, on that note, we fixed the landing gear. Let me know what you guys think about the Mac Cannon, because that's essentially a preference thing. We can either make a room, a small room, it won't be pretty or anything. I'm not going to glamorize it or anything like that. It's literally just going to be a giant gray room, or it's a small little room to load the cannon in. And that's it. So, let me know what you guys think about that. Should we do the Mac Cannon? Should that stay with manual loading, or should we just leave it and be done with it kind of thing and just plug that hole? Or put something else there, I don't know, extra storage or something, I don't know, whatever. But something, because I don't think... Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I don't like that, but it is functional. It will work. And at that point, let's see, we fixed the landing gears. Theoretically, we fixed the Mac Cannon, essentially, because we've decided it's either manual or nothing. We fixed the rocket launchers to where they're loadable. If the pistons hold up like the landing gears do, then I can reconvert these back into pistons, and they should be functional at this point, which should be fine. Yeah. So at that point, I'm thinking we're pretty good. I don't think there's a whole lot else to do, other than maybe I might do some off-camera number crunching and just make sure the power battery stuff works properly when you're running at full stuff, because, I don't know, something about the last test for battery, it didn't seem like everything was working correctly, but I don't know to be sure, so I might have to play around with some power numbers a little bit, but other than that, I think we're good to go. I think we just have to finalize some touches. So let me know what you guys think about all that in the comments. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace!